Ravenwood Castle stood atop a desolate hill, its dark silhouette stark against the evening sky. Once a grand fortress, it now lay abandoned, its stone walls crumbling and overgrown with ivy. The townsfolk whispered of ghosts and curses, warning outsiders to stay away. But Sarah, a young journalist with a penchant for the supernatural, was drawn to the mystery. Determined to uncover the truth, she arrived at the castle just as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long, eerie shadows across the landscape. Sarah pushed open the heavy wooden door, its hinges creaking loudly in the silence. Inside, the air was cold and musty, carrying the scent of decay. The grand foyer, once magnificent with its chandeliers and marble floors, was now a scene of ruin. Broken furniture lay scattered, and cobwebs draped the corners like tattered curtains. As she stepped further in, the sound of her footsteps echoed ominously, amplifying the emptiness of the castle. Venturing deeper, Sarah found the library, a room lined with ancient, dusty books. The shelves, once neatly organized, were now in disarray, with books scattered across the floor. She noticed an old, leather-bound journal lying open on a reading desk. As she picked it up, a sudden chill ran down her spine. The journal belonged to Lord Ravenswood, the last known occupant of the castle, and its pages were filled with accounts of strange occurrences and haunting visions. As Sarah read the journal, the temperature in the room plummeted. She could see her breath in the cold air. Suddenly, the flickering light of her flashlight illuminated a shadowy figure standing at the far end of the room. It was a tall, gaunt man with hollow eyes, dressed in period clothing. Before she could react, the figure vanished, leaving behind an icy stillness. Heart pounding, Sarah knew she had just seen the ghost of Lord Ravenswood. Determined to continue, Sarah's investigation led her to a hidden passage behind a bookshelf. She pushed the shelf aside, revealing a narrow, dark corridor lined with stone. The air was damp and heavy with the smell of mold. As she made her way through the passage, her flashlight flickered, casting eerie shadows on the walls. She could hear faint whispers, indistinct but haunting, echoing through the corridor. The passage led to an underground crypt, a chilling room filled with ancient coffins. The air was thick with the scent of decay, and the walls were adorned with faded, grim tapestries. In the center of the crypt stood a stone sarcophagus, its lid slightly ajar. As Sarah approached, the whispers grew louder, and a sense of dread washed over her. She hesitated but then pushed the lid open, revealing the skeletal remains of Lord Ravenswood clutching a mysterious, ornate amulet. The moment Sarah touched the amulet, the crypt was plunged into darkness. A cold wind swirled around her, carrying anguished cries and sinister laughter. Ghostly apparitions materialized, circling her with menacing intent. Shadows danced on the walls, forming twisted, horrifying shapes. Sarah clutched the amulet, feeling its power coursing through her, and realized it was the key to the curse. But could she harness it to free the spirits, or would it consume her? Desperate to end the haunting, Sarah fled the crypt and raced back to the main hall. There, she was confronted by the spectral form of Lord Ravenswood, his hollow eyes filled with anger and sorrow. He demanded the amulet, his voice echoing with a mix of rage and despair. Sarah stood her ground, holding the amulet high, and began to recite the incantation she had found in the journal. The castle trembled, and the spirits wailed in agony as the power of the amulet was unleashed. As the incantation reached its climax, a blinding light erupted from the amulet, banishing the darkness. The spirits of the castle, once tormented, now appeared serene and grateful. Lord Ravenswood's ghostly form softened, his expression changing to one of peace. He revealed to Sarah that the curse had been a punishment for his past sins, and the amulet's power was the only way to redeem his soul and those trapped with him. With a final, thankful glance, he and the other spirits dissolved into the light, leaving the castle eerily quiet and empty. The next morning, Sarah stood outside Ravenwood Castle, the sun rising behind her. The once ominous structure now seemed just an old, forgotten relic. With the curse lifted, The air felt lighter, and the oppressive atmosphere was gone. Sarah knew she had uncovered a story, unlike any other, one that would fascinate her readers. But more importantly, she had brought peace to the restless spirits of Ravenwood. With a final glance at the castle, she turned and walked away, ready to share her tale with the world.